was in fact made by Donald Trump.
Well, we all have to take the trouble to understand the mindset and diction of President Trump. So he made that remark about hellhole, linking it to China and India. Now, my own view is that we should ignore such remarks
Hmm.
rather than have a tit for tat with him, because you know that in the case of Sindoor, we said that he had nothing to do with it, but he went on saying that he did it, and that did spoil the relations, that did make the trade deal more difficult. So Donald Trump is a difficult person, but he has to be handled tactfully. But at the same time, I see MES response, and there was also a response from the US Embassy in Delhi.
Hmm.
So that thing goes on. We should not attach too much importance to it.
Right. Sir, ordered the US military to shoot and kill Iranian small boats, choking the Strait of Hormuz, and this has made social media post. How do you see this?
Well, first of all, we have to be clear about certain things.
Hmm.
The media have been reporting that President Trump has extended the ceasefire.
Hmm.
Correct?
Hmm.
Now, what does the ceasefire mean? No firing. Now, you yourself said that he has ordered firing. In other words, there is no ceasefire. All that we can say is that there is a cease of bombing of Iran, which Israel and Americans had been conducting. The bombing has ceased, but there is no real ceasefire on the part of the United States, which declared a blockade. Now, a ceasefire also means suspension of war.
Hmm.
That is a larger meaning. Now, declaring a blockade is an act of war. So, President Trump himself has violated the so called ceasefire which he has announced. Now, coming to Iran, Iran also has not ceased to fire. Iran attacked 3 ships and captured 2. In other words, because of President Trump's blockade, Iran was compelled to pay back in the same coin. So neither party has ceased firing. Let's
All right.
understand this correctly.
All right, sir. Donald Trump, U.S. Is in no rush to end the Iran war. U.S. Israel Iran war ceasefire. The standoff between U.S. and Iran has effectively choked off nearly all exports through the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's traded oil passes in peacetime.
Well, let's bring in one more point. President Trump said, and his press secretary was repeating that Iran is losing $500 million a day because it cannot export oil. Now, that arithmetic is wrong because now the price of oil is about $100. So $500 million means Iran was exporting 5 million barrels a day. Now, we all know that is not correct. Iran was exporting anything between 1.9 and 2.1. So let's keep it as 2 million. So the loss of export for Iran is $200 million, not $500 million, which the president mentioned
Mm-hmm.
and his press secretary repeated. In other words, President Trump's arithmetic has to be taken, you know, with caution. Now the thing is this: President Trump has also said that there is nobody to discuss. Iranians are disunited, and he has finished off their air force. He's finished off their navy, and he is in full control of the Strait of Hormuz, which, as you know, is not the case. If Iran could attack 3 ships, where was the central command? So, let me put it this way. President Trump's statement have to be taken with a pinch of salt.